Hello again, day 4. This has been fun. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of you encouraging me, just coming alongside me. Your encouragement means the world to me. I am so understanding how much we need each other and how much I need your voices in my life. Your encouragement it means everything to me. It makes me keep going in something like this because you can definitely feel those inner critic voices, assumptions like, this is silly, why does it matter? What do I have to share? Who am I? What am I even doing? Thousands of anointed, really good preachers, teachers, or mostly anointed, talented, gifted, trained, everything, and then just sharing my story. But I am realizing, like the Dr. Seuss, Horton Hears a Who, every voice matters. Please let that stick. I know you can think your voice doesn't matter, and that is the attack on each one of us. Why do you matter? What do you have to share? What do you have to say? Just doesn't matter. You don't matter. It's a lie. Such a lie. Yes, I'm recognizing how important support is and encouragement. So thank you for those of you who are doing that with me. Today, I really felt to hone in a little bit on that family message that I was talking about, that during COVID, it was like an incubator for me and a magnifying glass. So being that close with family day in and day out, again, I thought we already were. I homeschool, my husband works from home. It's just funny how you can still kind of get distracted sometimes with life. But I just wanted to talk a little bit on that theme of family, what he was doing in our family. One of the things that was so interesting and surprising was coming out from our old church that we had been a part of for 10 years. I didn't mention that the pastor was my brother, and my sister, whom I so love, was head of the inner healing team when I got to work with her, which I just loved that time. And my brother was awesome to me and really invested in me and sewed into me, and was willing to work with the process that I was going through in understanding the call in my life, and then also just me just seeing what it is to be in a community and really allow that community to be a part of my life, and let people in process, not waiting until I have the awesome miraculous testimony of overcoming all by myself and God. It's so much easier and better when you let people in and they come alongside in those dark times or those hard times. And like I said, we came into Oregon having to go through bankruptcy, foreclosure. We didn't even know if we were going to be able to pay our rent. So Christ Center really came alongside of us and supported us and kind of put our feet back under. So that was amazing. And there were lots of good stories from that time. I mean, we had a lot of good growth and grew in relationship with a lot of beautiful people. But coming out of Christ Center was so weird, but I realized I still had this family obligation, or wanting to please my family, wanting to do things right, wanting to do things well, not wanting to disappoint my brother, pastor, not wanting to disappoint my sister, leader, and just working through that stuff. And I had to, coming out caused me to look at it in a different way, to where I wasn't in it anymore. And I began to see areas where I had kind of lost myself in some ways, because I did care so much about what they thought and just honoring them in their position, but then loving them just as brother and sister, and then I'm going through my process. So it was a really good learning curve, growth time. I tend to be really hard on myself and have a very high standard for myself, and I didn't used to allow myself to be in process. So then I also didn't know how to handle other people in process, which is so silly because everywhere you go, people are in process. I don't know of any perfect person out there except Jesus. One of the things about being so hard on myself is it really brings a lot of shame, because you want to hide the areas that you're weak in, or you want to seem like you're not as weak in an area as you are. And even that you can fool yourself that you think you're stronger in an area than you really are. And I felt like I am supposed to be strong in all areas. Maybe that's also partly an 8. I'm an 8 on the Enneagram, challenger. I used to hate weakness, especially in myself. So when I would see weakness in others, it would also cause me to kind of question or not be sure if I can trust them fully. That's been something I've had to work on. But I've realized, as God has just peeled back the layers, at the root of this is actually shame. I'm not saying it's always shame, but for me it was shame, because shame was to keep you alone, isolated, in secret, protected, not showing all of who you are, showing your weaknesses, showing your failures. So that, that's just been something he's been pulling me out of, healing me in over the last 12 years. And it's funny because, like I said, I didn't used to like process. So every time he was showing me another layer, I'm just like, I dealt with that. I thought I was free. But it's just like, yeah, you're getting free. And the thing I really want to free you from, Jessica, is trying to just be done and healed and all better and perfect. Because life is a process. Relationship with me is process. And I loved how, I loved how this one person was saying that a question he gets a lot, he's a theologian, I think, is, why is the Bible so vague? You know, why is it not like way clear cut and like just clear rules, clear expectations, etc.? And he said, because God wanted it to be relational. If we had all the steps in order, 1 through 1,000, or like my book, 9,966,673 steps to becoming the perfect Christian, we would try to fulfill every single step, because it's easier if we know the rules, if we know the game, if we can just do these steps. But God is like, I want you to know me, not the Bible front to back. I want you to actually relate to me. Seek out this answer. You know, it's the wisdom of kings to search out a matter. So that's where I would feel a lot of shame for just like not knowing something, or not being good at something, or still in process, still learning. And so when I came out from Christ Center, I came out from being so involved with my family, I started to realize, okay, who am I apart from all the expectations? Who am I apart from my calling, my anything, motherhood, wife? Who am I? And he just had to really like go to the root of that. And there was a lot of shame, and shame because I didn't know how to be the perfect mom. I made a lot of mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes. I didn't do awesome as a wife in every single area. I've made a lot of mistakes. Ruslan has taught me a lot. I've grown a ton. I didn't know that was so important, and that was the process. And one time I was at a prayer meeting in my house after having left Christ Center, and I just felt like I mean, I was really getting touched by the Holy Spirit, and I was just feeling his presence and his healing, and just like things falling off of me, heavy burdens, expectations on myself, what I thought were expectations of others. And I saw this clear picture of this eagle being pinned down under a net. And I saw the wings just like flapping and just like getting ready and being loosed, and like the net released down here and the net released here. And it was like he just came out and spread his wings. And I felt that, like, oh my gosh, I can just be me. It's enough. Wow. And as I've been walking through that process, he started addressing this shame. And it was very interesting because it was also a stronghold. So we can have shame just in general, like feel ashamed of ourselves and of still struggling with something that you just can't break free from. Shame of not being able to just do it right, whatever the shame is. But for me, there was actually a spirit of shame that got a hold, because I was agreeing with shame again and again. Like, yeah, I'm not good at this. Yeah, I failed again. Yeah, I did that not good. Yeah, I don't know this. Shoot, I yelled at my husband again. Oh, I yelled at the kids again, you know. Showed me a picture of Cinderella. Remember that scene where she's got the beautiful dress, the mice made for her, so adorable. They were so proud. She got the necklace they strung together with the pearls, and she comes out, I'm ready to go to the ball. She's so excited. And the evil stepsisters just go and start tearing her dress off and yanking her necklace. And it's like, oh my gosh, that is what has happened to me. Like, I've always been a very spunky, vivacious, hyper loud person, like, and just love having fun and adventure. And as a kid, it's like you're just so free to do it all. But then with each hurt, disappointment, abuse, you just slowly like die and things change, and you hold back and you quiet down and you go inward and you hold back and you hold back. And I just saw myself there standing in the dark, crying as my dress is ripped to shreds and my necklace is missing, you know, just like Cinderella, and sobbing. And I was literally sobbing in the natural, just like, God, this has happened to me. I was so excited about going to the ball, being involved in life, just having fun, just showing up, all of me. But, you know, in my also immaturity and zealousness and religion, you know, I did silly things. I was extreme. I was religious. I fought to be right. You know, 2020, sobbing from the shame and the hurt and being silenced and being misunderstood and being disliked and friends turning on me. And okay, Lord, you're all I have. I'm ready for you to see this shame. And so then the fairy godmother, Holy Spirit, shows up and truly transforms. Not just a beautiful dress to cover the shame, not just a pearl necklace to hide the shame, but I let go of the shame, any shame of who I am, any shame of things I've done, any shame of struggles I still had, any shame of the mistakes I make as a mother, the mistakes I made at Christ Center, the people I hurt, the things I didn't know how to do right. It just was all falling off. And then Holy Spirit was just restoring and showing me, you know, that the wicked stepsisters represented the wickedness of the enemy against me in my life, you know, and things that were just hurtful for no reason, you know, and terrible things that happened to me that were just the enemy. And also that, you know, before Cinderella was fostered into this household, she was royalty. Her dad was a king, right? And the world and the people around her and bad circumstances tried to tell her she was just worthless. Like, go be a maid, go clean something, go downstairs and hide in the basement. You don't matter. You're not royalty. Are you kidding me? You can't even go to the ball. Like, you did not earn this. But it's coming back into that identity of who we were from the beginning. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. We started out in heaven. God's idea was us. And then here we are. And that's what it is about being on the earth right now, is literally going back to the beginning of understanding and seeing finally, who is this that you made me from the beginning? So it's shedding all those layers. And then the beautiful bride's gown. The fairy godmother gives the white dress, the crown, the carriage, the white horses, and she gets to go to the ball. And then again, I think it's interesting that the time runs out. It hits midnight, because we are always pressured in this life by time, and like, we're running out of time, we're gonna miss it. I missed it, it's too late, we're wasting time. Just the clock just glaring at you, screaming at you, it's too late, you're never gonna make it, you're never gonna get there, you're never gonna do it, you're nothing, the time is up, too late, you missed it. That was just for one night. And then she thinks it's all over. But the prince comes for her. And there's only one shoe that will fit only one person. So it's individual. We each have a place. We each have a call. You're not going to miss it. To be pursued and found. He knows your address. He knows your heart. He knows your desires. And he will hotly pursue you until he finds your fit. And that is our happily ever after.